To address the issues facing Tennesseans today, from 10 News, this is Inside Tennessee.
Good morning and welcome to Inside Tennessee. I'm your moderator, John Becker. We just saw the legislature finish up its session earlier this month, and we welcome two freshmen in that body, and they both represent parts of Knoxville. Back with us this morning, Republican Eddie Mannis and Democrat Sam McKenzie. It's good to have you with us. Our panelists, as you see there on the screen, Don BOSCH, who's a Democrat and runs his own law firm. Susan Richardson-Williams is a Republican. She runs her own PR firm. And gentlemen, I'm going to kick off with that freshman question. Scale 1 to 10, Representative Mannis, 1 being worse than you thought, 10 being better than you thought. Where does this session rank?
Let's see. First of all, good morning, John. I have to make sure I get that scale right because it could be really bad. It was, as a freshman, I think there's a lot going on and coming out of COVID, and everyone says this is not a real example of a true freshman year. So I'm thinking it's probably a 7. So there was a lot to learn, and so for me personally, I think it was 7. It was not hardly what I was thinking, but I'm still pleased with where we are. Representative
McKenzie, how about you?
Well, again, good morning as well. It was a very interesting session, as Representative Mannis said. I'm going to have to go down one in that there were a lot of just attacking pieces of legislation that I thought were unnecessary. We got a lot done, but I'm going to give it a 6 this time. You know, it's a little better than what I expected. Coming in the minority party, I expected there to be some challenges, but overall, I learned a lot, and I'm starting to build some good relationships.
I asked some of your colleagues last week what they thought of this question, and after this, Don, why don't you jump in? But Representative McKenzie, 2 answers I'm looking for. The best bill that passed this session, in your opinion, and the worst bill that passed this session, in your opinion, and then Representative Mannis, will go to you.
Wow. The best bill, and I'll say this is personal to me, having pretty much all my life been around college athletics. My brothers played at the University of Tennessee. And one of them is dealing with some things from playing years and years of football. And my nephew just got through playing over there. The University of Tennessee does really well with football in terms of profitability. So for us to pass the bill where we're allowing them to be compensated for their wear and tear on their bodies, on their schedules, to be student athletes is really tough in this environment. So I'm going to say that that's probably the best bill that is going to have long-term effects. What I choose to talk from the worst bill, I'll give 2. I'll stop at 2. The permitless carry. I think that's just a really, really bad bill. Yeah, people say it's a one-time thing, but you only get your driver's license and take a test once. But I would not give a 16-year-old the keys without that test and that vetting process. But we're going to give our 21-year-olds guns without any kind of training. That one was a really, really bad bill. And of course, the critical race theory bill. The fact, it's a solution looking for a problem. We have to tell the truth to our children. Our grandfather's history, the history that I went through, was not fully describing how America became this great country. And for folks to try to cut that off at the legs was just really unfortunate.
Representative Mannis, your best bill and your worst bill.
Yeah, those are interesting questions. Well, Sam took my best bill, but I will say one of the bills that I was really excited about, and I've talked about for quite some time, was just encouraging people to work, to find a job, and not cut all of their assistance off. It's kind of a staggered kind of approach, and really encouraging people to work. And then the state will assist you as we look at child care opportunities, any kind of subsidies. So it's encouraging people to work, and we will, as the state, will do our part to help you get to where you need to be. So that was I was really excited about that we're really starting to talk about those challenges and those opportunities. And then the worst bill, probably it was more of a resolution, but naming the ladder as the state tool I thought was very interesting. I'll just throw that out there. I still kind of find that a very interesting process. But, from the LGBTQ perspective, really, censoring that in the classroom, not being able to talk about those things in curriculum, I think that's unnecessary. I don't think we had to go there. I certainly understand why some people may have thought that, but I did not think that we had to go there and discuss as many social issues as we did. But I think I'll have to stop there with my best and worst.
Don?
So, Sam, interesting. Your worst bill was my worst bill last week, and that is the permitless carry, and particularly the district that you are from and in and grew up in had so many tragedies with firearms. What do you think can be done, or what do you think that this legislature might do to, in any way, to pass legislation that might increase gun safety? And I keep hearing, we've made penalties stronger if you use a firearm. That's not going to help with gun safety and guns on the streets issues. Is there anything you can see your colleagues do, and of course that means across the aisle, that could help with gun safety in our state?
To be blunt, no. This legislature right now, we have it for next year, does not have an appetite for true gun training and safety. It just doesn't exist in numbers large enough to make a difference. To be quite honest, I think we're going to go with additional legislation that's going to take us in the wrong direction. You're absolutely right. We've had 5 student deaths here, and it is very, very, very unusual, but it's happened. And access to weapons is a problem in untrained, in wrong hands, and so we need to do something to better. There was a bill to do some classroom training at the high school level, but I forgot how many minutes, but it's in terms of minutes. It just doesn't go far enough, and unfortunately, we're probably going to be looking at some more bad bills as it relates to gun ownership and use.
We've got to take a quick break on Inside Tennessee. Don, I'll let you follow up, and then Susan will bring you in the second block here. Stay with us on this Sunday morning.